Front Range cities are working to restrict certain types of guns.
This is a community trying to take matters into their own hands and do what they can to keep their citizens safe.
Colorado gun advocates are working to stop them from being implemented.
This wasn't about local control. That's the way they build it, but it was never about local control.
And a federal judge is on their side. We look at the domino effect the decision could have on gun laws statewide.
A long-awaited facelift of downtown Fort Collins is nearing its end.
I'm really proud of the downtown area of Fort Collins. It's a very historic part of our city.
For businesses, it couldn't come at a better time.
There's a lot of really good energy and everybody seems really excited about it.
Plus, this Broncos star spending his last day before training camp giving back to the kids.
Good evening and thank you for watching Denver 7 News at 6. I'm Ann Trujillo.
I'm Shannon Ogden. Glad you're with us tonight. The gun debate rages across this country, including right here in Colorado.
A federal judge recently blocked an ordinance from taking place in the town of Superior, which would have put restrictions on high-powered guns. Superior's ordinance, passed in June, it would prohibit assault weapons, large-capacity magazines, and rapid-fire trigger activators like bump stocks.
And while it may seem small, the federal ruling could have an impact on similar laws already in place in our state.
Here is Denver 7's Megan Lopez.
Last year, legislators here at the state capitol passed a law that allowed for local control when it comes to firearms. That allowed localities like cities and counties to pass their own more restrictive gun laws. They couldn't be less restrictive. But now, between the Supreme Court ruling and a lawsuit playing out here in Colorado, some of those local ordinances could come into question, and even some state laws. It took a tragedy for Colorado lawmakers to try a different approach to gun reforms. Among the changes, a law to allow local governments to pass their own gun restrictions. In June, Superior did just that, banning assault weapons and large-capacity magazines, among other things. Something
We're going after their assault weapons ban and their standard capacity magazine ban.
Rocky Mountain gun owners took aim at with a federal lawsuit. Now a judge has temporarily blocked the new gun ordinances.
So we knew that these ordinances that they passed were unconstitutional.
This decision comes in the wake of another, a Supreme Court ruling that struck down a New York gun law and could affect this Colorado case.
I think they have a good chance.
Constitutional law professor David Kopel says the decision comes down to history.
Bans on particular types of arms or magazines really have no basis in American history.
So if this lawsuit is successful, it could put other local gun laws and possibly even state laws in jeopardy.
The bottom line is the state and local laws, to the extent that they are regulatory about how you exercise the right, those have the better chance of being upheld compared to the laws that are prohibitory.
Senate President Steve Fenberg was a co-sponsor of the local control law.
The town of Superior, like many other cities and towns across America and definitely across Colorado, just want to pass common sense laws.
He's disappointed in the temporary restraining order, but says they're not going to stop trying.
Whatever it is going to take, my party, and as long as I'm in the legislature, we are going to continue to investigate and explore ways to keep people safe.
The judge did deny part of the lawsuit that banned open carry in Superior, which gave Fenberg hope. But with the Supreme Court decision in mind, Rocky Mountain gun owners says they're confident these laws will be overturned and they're getting ready to sue other cities.
Colorado is going to be a very different place for gun laws in 2 years.
The next hearing for the Superior lawsuit is August 4th. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
And Superior is just one Front Range city putting ordinances like this in place. Several others in Boulder County have also passed similar measures. Boulder, Louisville, Lafayette implemented new gun ordinances in recent months. Boulder County commissioners have also taken first steps toward new restrictions there. Now, county restrictions would go a step further. They would include both open and concealed carry bans in many public places.
Inglewood police are staying tight-lipped on the circumstances surrounding a deadly police shooting last night. One man was killed by police, another was arrested. Now, this happened around 7:30 last night on South Grove Street near Federal and Bellevue. In a press release overnight, police say when they arrived on scene, they see someone was shooting at them from inside the house, and officers returned fire, killing a 22-year-old man. Now, in a release that came out around noon today, police announced they arrested 29-year-old Philip Blankenship for his role in shooting at police. At the moment, police have not clarified what role the 22-year-old played in the shooting. The identity of the 22-year-old will be released following the coroner's report. Tomorrow morning, Jordan Waddy will appear in court. He is the man who Denver police say flashed a gun at them more than a week ago in lower downtown, prompting a police shooting that injured 6 bystanders. Waddy is facing charges for menacing and violating his parole by allegedly having a gun. Now, last week, police said there is no evidence Waddy actually fired a shot. They also said they may never be able to tell if the victims who were injured were shot or hit by bullet fragments.
Commerce City police are on the lookout for 3 men they say shot and killed a man during a robbery early this morning. It happened about 2 o'clock at a home on 54th and Linden, not far from the intersection of 56 and Quebec. Police say these 3 men confronted 2 others outside the home before shooting and killing one of them and stealing a 2003 Chevy Silverado pickup. Now, we went back to that neighborhood today and talked to people who live there, and one woman didn't want to go on camera because these men are still on the loose.
I hear a woman is screaming really, really bad. I got scared. Went check on the window, and it was my neighbor. I am scared. Now, what about if they come back again for another car or something? You know what I'm saying? It's scary.
Now, police say they don't have much to go on in terms of what the suspect looks like, but if you have any information, you're asked to call police right away.
A multi-million-dollar overhaul in downtown Fort Collins is finally opening up. The Linden Street renovation is set to partially open August 5th after many construction closures and a lot of heartache for local businesses. That is where we find Denver 7's Russell Haythorne tonight.
Yeah, the Linden Street overhaul is nearing completion. The pavers are down on roughly 2/3 of the street, and there's a general excitement amongst businesses here for this to be finalized. It is the missing link, per se, between Old Town and a developing area near the river that has been years in the making. As the lights go up on Linden,
There was a bit of a apprehension about the project.
businesses like Curiosity's Novelty Shop can finally see the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel.
I've seen the design plans. I think it's going to look awesome once they're done. It's just the process that's been the problem.
Manager Haley Mikulak is a fan of how it's all coming together.
I can't see it as a bad thing anymore.
Nor can Bob Younger, owner of Younger Photography, who had been somewhat critical of the project in the past.
It's very hard to get customers down here with the street closed. It's just been a long process. I'm really anxious for it to be over.
The wait is over, and most are pleased with what they're seeing so far.
And I understand the businesses are hurting right now, but I think once this opens up, and it seems to be progressing pretty quick, I think it's going to be great for Old Town.
I like the idea of being able to come out of a restaurant and have tables and chairs set up. You can hang out outside.
The street will still allow for two-way traffic and some parallel parking, but it's also considered flex space and can be closed to vehicles for special events.
For events and things like that down the line, all of that is in place.
Project manager Dylan Willette says this also has infrastructure for a stage and a huge shade structure for concerts.
There's a lot of really good energy and everybody seems really excited about it and the potential for future events and different activities.
I'm hoping that brings some more interest to this side of the square.
They're going to be able to close off the road for events and stuff, and it's going to be a really useful space.
I like all the little shops and stuff. Old Town is very quaint and unique, and it supports like the, mom and pop businesses.
In Fort Collins, Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.
Construction on this project was originally planned for 2020, but the pandemic put a pause on that plan. So the project cost $3.5 million and came from the voter-approved Building on Basics program.
Well, swimming is now prohibited at Bear Creek Lake Park in Lakewood. Lakewood city officials say there are high levels of that toxic blue-green algae there. Now, it's not uncommon to find this in Colorado lakes. It occurs in warm, nutrient-rich waters. Paddleboards, canoes, kayaks still can be used, still can be rented there, but you have to limit your body contact with the water and then immediately rinse the equipment after you're out. Now, at the moment, there is no timeline on when the swim beach will reopen.
The Denver Sheriff's Department is about to celebrate a huge milestone. This September, the Sheriff's Department will swear in the first Latina to the rank of Major. This is Janelle Orozco. She's been with the department for more than 20 years and has made her way from deputy to sergeant, then captain, and now major. Orozco was born and raised in Denver. She will be sworn in September 9th.
Well, the Broncos preparing for the start of training camp, and today, one of their star defensive players had a chance to help the community before that hard work begins. Defensive end Bradley Chubb visited Clayton Early Learning in Denver to read to 20 preschool kids. Chubb was there to teach them about healthy eating and also to start the conversation early about nutrition. And we asked Chubb about his off-season routine and what healthy food is keeping him energized.
I had to probably go with avocado right now. I've been eating a lot of avocados, whether it be on toast, whether it be in salads, whether it be on burgers. It's probably my favorite one right now. The foundation is healthy eating, you know what I'm saying? You want to start kids off early with good habits. And their teachers could say it, their parents could say it, but it might sound a little different if an NFL player says it or something like that.
That's a lot of avocados he's got here. Clayton Early Learning serves 500 children in Denver who live beneath the poverty line. They use a comprehensive approach to help children and families thrive in school and in life.
We get our first look at the Broncos this week. What you need to know before training camp starts.
We had a 90 in Denver today, but cooler weather's coming up. Which day will not even reach 80?
Plus, not all damage from the Marshall fire is visible.
We first saw the house after the fire. We were like, oh, it's not that bad. Get some new windows, some new siding, clean up the yard.
But the process to rebuild remains the same.
But it really is completely invisible. You can smell it when you go in the house. Your eyes start to burn.